Well, Budget Lady is cooking up a veritable feast. That smells so delicious. And meanwhile, I've been tanking. And here we are by the gravy pot, gravy granules. And this is a Viikondo, £4 and 4p plus £2 postage AliExpress T90, which I've converted by hand to the latest T-90M Pirov free Russian standard in the war in Ukraine. Now, there's a couple of myths when it comes to the Russian army. The first one is that they're totally incompetent, they're weak, they don't know what they're doing. Now, sure, they've made mistakes, but the Ukrainian army, which started the war in 2022, does not really exist now. The Russian army does exist, it keeps getting stronger, it's taking ground every day. Unfortunately, Ukraine is now in a very precarious position. The Russian army and military-industrial complex continues to evolve. It's an evolutionary complex. Now, Rusi have covered this better than I can ever cover, but they learn from their mistakes. They do make mistakes, and then they incorporate lessons learned into their designs, into their combat units, into their formations. They've gone back to some pretty large formations that NATO could never hope to implement, and it's possible that you may see the return of the shock army concept coming along in 2025. Do they make mistakes? Yes. Are they on the wrong side? Yes. Do people like to hate them? Yes, they do. But should we be learning from what's happening? Yes, we should. I think if you look back and you look at some of the lessons from World War II, when there were some racial stereotypes of the Japanese, well, they quickly fell apart in Singapore. Same thing as well, we tend to idolise the Aryan, the SS. Oh, the SS were so good, they were such good fighters. So my granddad wasn't. Yeah, I'll leave it there. And I think that's a trap that we can fall into with looking at the Russians. So the T-90 MS or T-90M Pirov 3, which is the one with a 12.7 machine gun, evolved, and then it's evolved again. Now, one thing the Russians are having to contend with is very advanced Western anti-tank guided munitions and Stugna P missiles from Ukraine, top attack weapons, the likes of which Western tanks, quite frankly, have not had to engage or feel the wrath of. The FPV drones are common, but they tend to be used on tanks when they're immobilised. Tanks tend to be immobilised by ATGM hits, artillery or mines. And you can see that in some of the videos. Now, there is a video of T-90M Pirov 3 with some very clued up tankers from the Russian side, and they get absolutely wiped out when their tank goes side on to a Stugna P. So, the Russians have then evolved the T-90 Pirov M. So whereas you have the sort of almost straight screens, you've now got these what I think are era boxes all along the side. You've got era boxes around the turret bustle. You've still got the statistical protection and the sort of netting around the turret. And on this side, you've got more of the same armour, and then at the back, protecting the rear, you've got more armour as well. So this is based on pictures that I've seen of the Russians this year in the war in Ukraine. Now, obviously, I don't condone the invasion, etc., but you have to learn from your enemy. And the Russians are learning, and they are learning fast. So these boxes are starting to be seen in Ukraine. They are hard boxes, unlike the soft armour. They do sometimes fall off. That's one criticism of them, but they are there, and we need to take note of them. So I've built this from pictures that's available on the interweb. Currently, I don't think there is a kit of this moderner T90 variant out there, so I've converted the £4 and 4p Viikondo kit to represent the latest standard. I'll get this painted. This is what the enemy, if you like, are doing. They are learning, they are improving, and this is my attempt to replicate one of the latest T90s in Russian service. Like I said, they're facing threats which I don't think NATO tanks have faced. They do have drone cages on some of these. I haven't replicated that on this. And they do have like a cover which goes over the whole of the tank. You can see that in Dash and Models videos, and I've not replicated that. That's like a Barracuda style screening camo. The Viikondo kit is nice, it's quite simple. For this kind of conversion, the only extra cost involved is plasticard. The netting I've got en masse from Amazon, that's mosquito or fly net. I really like this kind of improved protection. I think it's a good way of looking at it. Where would I place this? Would I place this on the level of the Leclerc, Charles Leclerc Series 2 Azure, or I'd place this on the level of the Leopard 2A7 Pro Plus? It doesn't appear to have active protection systems, so I wouldn't be comparing it to tanks that do have active protection systems, but it's another variant. I really enjoy making armour like this. I enjoy looking at pictures. It might not be 100% correct, but it's my take on it, and it's all just by hand, plasticard. I hope you like it. Take care. Goodbye.